These are some things that you're never going to see, right, as a user. But it's so weird that it thinks like that, like a human being. I wonder what this is. They might be tricking me. I'm like, why are you including the and the ha's? Like, it's very odd, you know? Forgot to drink the coffee for a second.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to AI Over Copy, episode 10. 10 weeks.
10, yeah. It's been, how much, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow, yeah. Almost 3 months.
Almost 3 months. My name is Arshia.
And I'm Yasha.
And today we're going to talk about different computer use programs and LLM models.
Yeah.
So we tried Claude computer use. We tried OpenAI, and what else? And we're gonna talk a little bit about the R1 model from DeepSeek as well.
The first reasoning model.
Okay. All right. So how about you show us how you were able to test these models in computer use? So before we start, for the casual people, computer use is basically an AI model, quite literally controlling an operating system. So instead of using function calling or API requests to search in Google, for example, it will literally click on Firefox, go into the search bar and search for whatever you requested.
Yeah, basically LLMs will control either computers or browser. So that's a whole concept, and still they're not that good.
I think the first model was Anthropic, right?
Yes. So we first tried you tried Anthropic first. So with this.
So for example, the model I used was a 3.5 Sonnet, and a human. Because there's a test about these things, and a human scores around 75 to 78% in the test of operating systems, but the Claude 3.5 Sonnet was 17%. Yeah. So it's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but they're getting smarter every single day. And
So do you want to? Okay, so we can go through like how we did this. Basically, there's a repository provided by Anthropic AI, and we can link it in the description. And basically, you should just go through the instructions, and it's using Docker basically. So if you run Docker in your local, then just put your Anthropic API key, and it will work, right? Yeah. So we can now show how did it work.
So this is the recording from Claude Computer Use.
Yep.
We didn't give it a very complex task because we were rate limited, because we didn't have a paid API key for Claude 3.5 because you guys have it on FlowHunt on Docker as well, right? Yeah. On Bedrock. Okay, so since we didn't have an API key, we had to keep the task very simple. So we gave it a calculate 2 plus 2 using the calculator. So as you can see, it hovered over to calculator on Linux, open it up, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, nice. It used it, and it was able to give us the answer. And it was like, I used the calculator, and it seems like 2 plus 2 is 4. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Instead of like just thinking it and telling it, it actually fact checks it with a real calculator, you know? Yeah,
makes
it's
it
pretty
interesting. And the way that is working is basically it's taking screenshots and then uses the computer tool to specify like the position that the mouse should go or whether it should click. Or
I believe it's using 4 different computer tools. Yeah. One is taking the screenshots. One is based on your screen resolution. It counts the pixels of where the tip of your cursor is, gives a coordinate for that, and one just moves the mouse, and one can click, right, and scroll.
I see. Okay. So what's the next task?
The next task was for it to find the price of Bitcoin using a browser. So it opened Firefox, and it actually got stuck for a very long time on the screen, and there was no thought process at all. Yeah. It was just staring at Firefox. Yeah. So yeah, it just stared a little bit, and then after a while it was like, okay. It went to CoinGecko, got the price of Bitcoin, searched up Bitcoin, and then gave us the price. But like, I don't know why this happens, but sometimes they just stare into the abyss with nothing happening.
Yeah, I think the reason is in the SDK, or if you're using like Anthropic via programmatic way, if there's an error, then it will try to wait, for example, few seconds. Okay. And that's the reason that whenever there's an error, either rate limit or similar, then it waits for
I see.
you.
Okay, so next thing is browser use, which you did.
Yeah. So basically, the difference between browser use and computer use is that browser use is completely browser-based.
Mm-hmm.
So LLM doesn't have access to anything, other tools in computer other than browser.
Yeah.
So it only has access to browser. That's the first thing. And the second difference is that it's in the implementation. In browser use, you basically provide different elements in the web page, HTML wise, to the LLM, and LLM doesn't take screenshots. So that's the difference. So you just give like different elements that you already see in the web page, and then you give to the LLM, okay, these are the elements. Now do the next action based on the elements.
So we tested OpenAI and Anthropic also.
Yes.
In this.
Yeah.
So we can show them the GIFs.
All right. So basically, what we found out is when using browser use, LLMs have better accuracy in doing navigations in the browser rather than computer use. And so we gave it we tried it in action. So first we tried OpenAI and then Anthropic AI. So in OpenAI, these are basically the thought processes that goes on in the application.
So the background of the text is what the LLM is seeing live.
Yeah.
And the thought process at that moment.
Yes, exactly. So searching the web. So that's the task that we gave it. So we wanted the LLMs to search in the web, find the cheapest ticket from Bratislava to Prague for 28th of January. So in 2 days. We're actually going to pay a visit to our friend. Probably. So
shout out to Merat.
All right. So so at first it says I need to search for the cheapest ticket. Yeah. Obviously. So it goes to Google. So as you can see, like here, there are two elements that are specified also behind the transcript or the subtitle. You also see.
So accept the cookies.
Yes. So it accepted the cookie. So it clicked on the button. Then
which is also a improvement over Anthropic Computer Use, because Anthropic Computer Use would just get stuck when a cookie appeared on the screen. It would be like. And then after 5 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, right, cookies. okay. So it's already a.
So you needed to always interfere.
I did, most of the time when cookies showed up on screen, because I knew that it was going to take a very long time for the LLM to figure out its cookies, and it has to accept it. Yeah. Because it would usually how websites have cookies is where there's a little pop-up window. And you can't really do anything else in the website until you accept, but you can see the rest of the website. So the computer use thought, hey, I can use this website. Why shouldn't I be able to?
I see.
So it would just get stuck.
Yeah.
So I had to interfere and accept the cookies.
Makes sense. All right. So then next it says I should click on an offer to find specific ticket. The Omeo link at index 29 offers a ticket for 11 euros. So as you can see also in here, the second sponsored option from Google is from Omeo. So that's why it basically picked the second one. And you already see in the title, it says 11 euros. So he found out Omeo offers already 11 euros, but still it clicked on it and accepted the cookie. And now it's trying to set the parameters. So it sets the destination and everything else. It clicked on search. Then there was the Cloudflare bot detection, which you needed to check.
And since OpenAI doesn't allow the elements to be accepted because they're not humans technically. Therefore, it redirected to another website.
For sure, there was a way to basically jailbreak this. But we didn't try it. Yeah. So then it thought, okay, I cannot go through this. Then it went back to Google again, and it tried the second time for Omeo. It didn't work, and then it went to Rail.Ninja, which is probably the same thing as Omeo alternative. So now here it works. So he put Bratislava, Prague, and then searched.
Yeah.
And now you see the results. So select the train departing at 5 for 31 euros. So based on the screenshot, it took the 31 euro one, and yeah, so that's all. So that's the end step. So and then at the end, it's suggested to take 31 euro one.
Mm-hmm.
Although it saw at the start in the Google that Omio offered like 11 euros. So the reasoning is not that good.
But it also mentioned in the output that the least amount of, like, the cheapest price would be 11, I think.
Yeah.
It was like 10 euros on Kiwi, 11 in Omio, but from my experience, what I found was 31 euros.
Yeah.
Because like it was able to see the title of the web pages, and it was like, okay, those might be options, but I didn't actually see them with my own eyes.
Exactly.
So it gave us the option, but his final answer that he saw was 31 euros.
31 euros, yeah, true.
Okay, so and then we can move on to Anthropic using web use. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Same prompt,
but completely different results. So yeah, that's just the problem.
So even here, as you can see, Anthropic AI thinks much more. It's overthinking a little bit.
But it actually, like, before it accepts, it already saw the results in here. So there's Busbot, which is offering 12 euros, $12, exactly the same process that he just saw the title of the web page and resulted in that. Then it went to Busbot actually, and for some reason,
it saw the cookie and it was like, what?
Yeah, it just refused to continue. Then it saw the cookie in the second link, so kiwi.com, and it actually accepted it.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the improvement, and basically the model didn't change comparing to computer use. Yeah. It's just the implementation, which is different. Browser use comparing to computer use, and that's
and they can see the elements as well. These different elements really help a lot.
Exactly. So so it wrote down Bratislava, Prague, and says since we can't directly input the date, we need to interact with the departure date field differently, and it's trying to pick the date picker, I think, and then at the next step it just decided to scroll down without clicking on the button, so just scroll down. And this is the date picker doesn't work. That doesn't seem to allow us to select the date. So we should try to use the search function with the current settings, and it decided to scroll down. Since we're unable to set the specific date on kiwi.com, we should consider exploring other options from our initial search results. So RegioJet and Flixbus, and that's why it went to Flixbus, or we went
back to Omio. Let's see if this time it can figure out the cookie.
Yeah, so it figured out the cookie.
Okay.
Now we have entered Bratislava, then Prague, and then I think it just and now it's trying to pick the date, 28th, and around here it just hanged out because
it just gave up.
It just gave up. Yeah.
I think it might have been because of the rate limit, but even when it waited for a minute for the rate limit to go away, it just didn't bother to continue with the task. So we never got an output from this.
Exactly. So it just gave up.
But also, the OpenAI gave Operator this week, which is the same thing, but it's OpenAI's own model.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So Operator, it's gonna be better than this for sure. But
we don't have access for it because we're in Europe.
Yeah.
And we just have to wait until it clears everything. But basically, this is their page. That's going to be linked in the description. It's called Browser Use, and the results from the testing is very impressive, right? At least compared to Anthropic Computer Use, right? Because like they did 17%, and these guys are doing 38%, and where they did like around 20%, they're doing 58%.
Yeah.
And a human is 78%, so we're 20% off from human, right? So web usage is 58%, which is very close to a human being, so it's pretty nice. And there's some examples down here that we could have went over, but I think it's going to take a long time. But basically, they told it to, hey, go go find a grammar quiz on some website, which it's Cambridge okay.
Dictionary.
Yeah. So I went, found a quiz, filled it out, got 12 out of 12, perfect score, and it took a lot of steps, but it did it very nicely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it works.
You can see already like it's a lot of steps, but
yeah, as you can see, even in the examples, you can do refunds, you can do update your licenses, finding customers. I mean, this is like for data entry jobs, this is kind of scary.
Yeah, but still it's not production ready.
Yeah,
it's in research, but for sure we're gonna get to a point that it's gonna do these tasks a lot faster.
Yeah, and completely automatic. So
yeah, and reliable.
Yeah,
more reliable than a human.
Okay, so how about you tell us a little bit about the R1 model from DeepSeek?
Yep. So this week it was actually a really important week for open source models. So DeepSeek, which is a Chinese competitor to OpenAI, but they're not considered completely competitor because they are open sourcing everything. So the really good thing with DeepSeek is that they're open sourcing everything like Llama, and they just released their new reasoning model.
The R1.
Called R1. So, and this is comparable to O1 models from OpenAI series, which we went through in the previous videos. So
yeah, but this reasoning model is so different. Than the other ones. Like
actually,
the thought
it's not
process.
different because in O1 in the dashboard, which we went through the other day, it just gives you the last result. Yeah. But this one, it actually gives you like the whole thinking process, because O1 doesn't want to reveal data, and they don't show the thinking process. But I'm sure if you just compare both the thinking process of DeepSeek and OpenAI O1, it's going to be similar. Yeah,
but we're going to show you a video that shows its thinking process. But the thing is, it's so natural and human-like. It does I wonder, or like
the
things like that.
Are crazy,
because like it's completely like these are some things that you're never gonna see, right, as a user, but it's so weird that it thinks like that, like a human being. I wonder what this is. They might be tricking me. I'm like, why are you including the and the ha's? Like it's very odd, you know. It's very weird for me. Okay, let's see.
So we did a test with our...
We did our standard benchmark test.
Yeah.
It's the dead cat again. So basically, the prompt is that we're gonna put a dead cat into a box with a nuclear isotope. And what was it like? What are the chances?
How long does it take? Or what's the probability of the dead cat to be alive after 2 weeks or certain
because of the radioactivity and everything? Or was it like a trigger that is gonna blow up or something, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
But the point is that the cat's dead already, so there should be zero probability of him surviving the box.
So we use Ollama for this to run this locally. So as you can see, I gave it at the top like what is the question, and then there's a certain token. It's called think. So that's how you can see the model is still in the thinking process. So this is another prompt that I prompted it. So I said, what is the best country in the world to live in? The reason we chose this prompt over as our second trial was because there was a lot of cases that the model was biased towards China, because it's a Chinese model, and they try to make it so that it doesn't answer controversial questions about China. So that's why I wanted to see like if they also have this, but they didn't. So
but it was really interesting because it was like, I'm gonna go search on the internet for the best indexes and everything, but then it was like, but it could be very personal. Someone might like this, someone might like that. I wonder what the user wants, and stuff like that. It was like, whoa, that's crazy. And at the end, it wasn't able to give an answer. It was like, it's very preference based. Different favorite best country in the world might be different for each person. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Because like normal LLM models would just go search on the internet, be like, Austria's the happiest country in the world, so it's Austria. So it's pretty cool.
Let's actually check All right, so yeah, this is the prompt
Mhm.
we chose for the dead cat, and yeah, so you see the thinking process. Actually, yeah, what you said. So here it says, if the cat is already dead when placed into the box, how can it possibly be alive after 1 day? That seems contradictory because death is typically a terminal state. So it really overthinks about stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's really nice to see the thinking process because I'm sure O1 has the same thing, but we don't see it.
But then
And
it,
here we
it,
see
it went to do investigation on nuclear isotopes, and then after that it was like, but wait, the cat's already dead when I placed in the box. So even if the position is released, it shouldn't affect the cat anymore because it's already dead. So it's really cool. It's the first model that like did this very successfully.
yeah,
Like
true.
between all the models that we tested previously, this is the most successful test that we did, which is really cool. I really liked it. I really enjoyed seeing the thought process behind this model. And is it possible to test this out for people out there?
I mean locally, yeah, but
Okay.
not in FlowHunt. We'll probably have the feature in FlowHunt in few weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna see.
Mhm.
If it will be available in Bedrock, then for sure we'll add it in FlowHunt.
Okay, awesome.
So, yeah.
Then you might be able to test it out in FlowHunt in the future. But as of right now, they can just try it out locally, and locally is better because they can see all the thought processes
Exactly.
as well. So it's more interesting. But if you're a coder or if you know things about software, I would suggest trying it out because like the way it thinks is so interesting and weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if O1 model and other reasoning models think the same way, but I've never seen it, so
No one knows because they
don't know.
didn't
Yeah.
make it public. So.
But this is really cool. So yeah, I think that's all the news for this week, right?
Yeah, it was a lot though.
It was a lot, yeah. But it was interesting.
It was
Computer use
interesting.
can revolutionize everything.
Yeah,
It's gonna be crazy. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this episode, AI Over Coffee number 10.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it,
It was-
and I hope you have an amazing week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.